Are the Broncos going to win the AFC West for the first time in a decade? The Bills have a major problem. Sam Darnold and Jared Goff disappoint. This is This Week in the NFL, Week 11. Starting on Thursday Night Football, we had the Jets and the Patriots go at it. This was an okay game. What we thought was going to happen happened. The Patriots are much better. Drake May had another fantastic performance. Not really much to say about this game, to be perfectly honest. I think it's time to talk about the Bills because although they won this game, they scored 44 points and were able to beat the Buccaneers in the end of this game. And this was a big one. These are two good teams going at it. But here's the problem. I don't really know if I truly believed that the Buccaneers even were to begin with. But for the Bills, even though they won, this was a terrible defensive performance. The Buffalo Bills defense is very, very bad. And if you're going to have to continue to rely on Josh Allen to play hero ball every single game, you're not going to be very successful. And the one thing for the Bills is we know that their offense is going to be high-powered no matter what. They have James Cook and Josh Allen. But if you can't stop the other teams, what is there to do? Their run defense is one of the worst in the league. They can't stop the run for anything. Bucs were without Bucky Irving, which they have been for a very long time. But Sean Tucker went ballistic in this game, and Rachaad White was efficient in this game. You really have to look at this game as a sign that the Bills need to get better defensively, and if they don't, they're not really true contenders, because obviously they're going to have Josh Allen be able to. That's the reason they're contenders. Josh Allen is such a good football player. They have a chance every week. They have a chance to win the Super Bowl, but they're not going to be able to do it with this horrible of a defense. They're not going to be able to do it. If they run into teams that can't run on them, then fine. But they're not going to run into those teams every single time, especially when they get into the playoffs. The Bears are now 7-3, and they've won 7 of their last 8 games. I'm pretty sure. I think they started 1-2, and now they are 7-3. They're kind of skirting by. They haven't played a lot of competition, and once again, they're skirting by most of these teams. They were playing a good defense as well, so this was a good win for the Bears. They really needed this one to go 7-3. They're number 1 in the NFC North now. I don't think that actually matters. I don't think they're actually winning the NFC North. It probably will be the Packers or the Lions still, because they have to play the teams in their division. They have to play those guys. I don't think that they can beat either of those teams. I think both of them will beat the Bears. The main problem with this game is that J.J. McCarthy doesn't feel like a real NFL quarterback. Obviously, he's had his moments, but this was just a terrible game from him. All facets. I mean, obviously they scored a touchdown at the end and they almost won. But at the end of the day, I just don't think I saw much from J.J. McCarthy at all. He was not very good in this game whatsoever. And if you are a Vikings fan watching this game and watching J.J. McCarthy, I would not have confidence in this team. You can't get the ball to Justin Jefferson, who is one of the best football players in the world. Justin Jefferson is one of the best football players in the world, and you can't get him the football. That is not how that shouldn't be working. That shouldn't. There's a reason you're 4-6 if that's what's happening. So, good win for the Bears. They did it, but I mean, this was a bad performance from the Vikings, so it shouldn't have been this hard of a game for them to win. You know, the Packers offense is really going to need to pick it up. The defense has been all right. It's been good. You know, it's one of the best defenses in the league. The problem is this offense. This offense being able to prosper. Jordan Love didn't have the most efficient day at all. And the problem is their intermediate, short pass game just isn't there. Josh Jacobs is now hurt. He was having a decent game. I think this team really tries to lean on Josh Jacobs. I think they need to lean more into Jordan Love. He only got 24 pass attempts in this. He had 11 incompletions. It wasn't his most efficient day, but he had 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. I really think that they need to continue to lean into Jordan Love. And this offense is efficient when he is throwing the football. He needs the ball in his hand a lot more than they give to him. And now that Josh Jacobs is injured, it's not season ending, but he's going to be out for probably a couple games. You're going to need Jordan Love. You just need to give him the ball. Just let Jordan Love do his thing. This was a little bit of an underwhelming performance, but still, this offense can prosper when you let Jordan Love be Jordan Love. Let that be an extension of the run game, and then run with Josh. I think that would work. That would be way better for this offense. The Jaguars-Chargers game was finally like the confirmation that the Chargers are just not going to be a good offense or that great of a football team without a good offensive line. This offensive line was terrible. I mean, this was one of the worst offensive performances I've ever seen from an offense with like almost a 3-and-out on like most drives. Like, this was the worst Justin Herbert game I've ever seen, and it wasn't like it was necessarily his fault. It was just Lord. They didn't run like any plays. How many plays did they run? They ran 45 plays to the Jaguars 70. They ran 45 plays to the Jaguars 70. That's almost 25 more plays. Chargers went punt, field goal, 9 plays, 35 yards, but 3-and-out. Punt, 3-and-out. Field goal, 9 plays, 14 yards. So they had 2 9-play drives, 1 for 35, 1 for 14. Then 6 plays, so a 6-and-out. Then a 3-and-out. Then an interception on the first play. Then 4 plays and downs. Then 9 plays and downs. Yeah, they dominated time of possession. They almost doubled the Chargers' time of possession. This was just a dominant performance by the Jaguars in every way except for their quarterback. Not their quarterback. Trust me, Trevor Lawrence was not the reason they won this game. I'm completely out on Trevor Lawrence from now on. I know at the beginning of the season I started to come back on and be like, oh, he has some talent. No, he doesn't. No, he's trash. He's not a good quarterback. I'm saying this after a 35-point win that they just had. Trevor Lawrence is not the guy. Bashal Tutin and Travis Etienne combined for 150 yards. Bashal had 74. Travis Etienne had 73. They combined for 3 touchdowns. Travis had 2. Tutin had 1. A dominant game on the ground. Just a dominant game. Before we get to the next, let me say 1 or 2 things about a bunch of games real quick. Commanders, Dolphins. Good job, Dolphins. Good job, Dolphins. Panthers, Falcons. What the hell, Bryce Young? This is what we're doing? This is what we're doing? I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It happens every goddamn. But, I mean, 448 yards and 3 touchdowns. Maybe we just let Bryce Young cook for the rest. Live and die by Bryce Young for the rest of the season. You might have to. I mean, hey. Well, their run game is good. So, I mean, if they can match up. Their run game was pretty bad in this game. So, if they can match up that run game with Bryce Young playing good. The Panthers are a scary team. I'm not going to lie. Not like playoff scary, but scary in the terms of you don't want to face them any given week. Texans, Titans. Davis Mills actually played a good clutch football game. Good job for the Texans. 49ers, Cardinals. I mean, Brock Purdy looked fantastic. Christian McCaffrey doing Christian McCaffrey things. George Kittle doing George Kittle things. The 49ers are back. And they are a sneaky team right now. I understand that what we've seen so far this season, but they've been such an injured football team. I don't know. They could be a little sneaky going into the rest of the season. Jacoby Brissett broke the record for completed passes in a game with 47. He was 47 for 57, which is like 82% completion percentage and 2 touchdowns for 452 yards. How did you throw for 452 yards and only score 22 points? What were you doing? He threw 2 picks, which probably was part of it, but still, what could possibly have been happening? The Ravens take down the Browns. Myles Garrett's probably still the best defensive player in football. Good job for the Ravens. And then Cowboys, Raiders. Nobody gives a shit about this game. I'm sorry. This game means nothing to anybody. Next, we'll talk about the Rams and the Seahawks. Sam Darnold. What? Sam Darnold. I said it at the beginning of the year that this is what I thought Sam Darnold would be. And then I think it was last this week in the NFL, or maybe it was the one I was supposed to make last week that didn't get posted because things keep messing up. I finally was like, okay, Sam Darnold is an MVP candidate. He's leveled up again from last year. He's not going to fumble in these moments. This is going to be a really good game. And it honestly still wasn't a bad game. It was 21-19. Sam Darnold pooped the bed. Sam Darnold sucked so bad. Sam Darnold looked like the guy I thought he was going to look like. Oh no. This is why you can't trust the Seahawks because of Sam Darnold. And I will learn my lesson because I did. We'll talk about Jared Goff later, but I'm going to learn my lesson. I've learned my lesson. Do never trust in Sam Darnold in high-pressure situations again because he just threw 4 of the most egregious interceptions. It wasn't like, oh, this guy's dropping passes and they're picked. They were 4 egregious egregious interceptions. They were bad interceptions. The Rams started off the game hot and kind of just coasted to the end of this one. Matthew Stafford was still pretty good. The general consensus is that Matthew Stafford is not really in the MVP conversation as much as he used to be. But he was also playing the Seahawks defense, which is one of the best in the league. So you got to give Matthew Stafford some credit for putting up points quick and making sure that they won this game in the fourth quarter. Now, it is time to talk about the best team in football. The Denver Broncos. We're going to talk about Bo Nix. The reason we're talking about Bo Nix is because this was the best game he has played in his entire career, following probably the worst game he's played in his entire career, ironically. Bo Nix was elite in this game. When the Chiefs started off with a corner pressure, they got a sack on Bo on the first play. I really thought that this was going to be a scary game for us to have to play, because first play sack, you think that's going to rattle a player who was insanely rattled last week. He stood in there, converted on that drive. We drive down, we kick field goals. I understand that we want touchdowns on these drives. Bo Nix was our best player in this game, in my personal opinion. Just a lot of great throws. He was making a lot of his great throws were dropped. Bo could have had 350, 360, some touchdowns maybe. He didn't have any touchdowns. Maybe he wouldn't have a touchdown. I don't know. But he would have had a much better game if we had some catches from Troy Franklin in this game. He just needs to learn how to catch the football. And we couldn't rely on the run game. I knew that this was going to be a game where Bo was going to have to win this game through the air, and he did it. He absolutely did it. He was amazing in this game. Again, his best game of his career, his most accurate, his most poised in the pocket. This was the best pocket presence game I've seen from Bo Nix, and it was the most satisfying game I've seen from Bo Nix. Watching him play within the pocket, read through his regressions, not run in the pocket and get happy feet. This was an amazing game from him, and our defense is just so good. The Chiefs' offense is one of the most efficient offenses in football, and the Denver defense made Patrick Mahomes look uncomfortable all game. Nick Bonito may not have gotten sacks in this game, but he was a big presence in the pass rush. Jaquan McMillan was amazing. 2 sacks, a pick. This was a fantastic game from Jaquan McMillan himself. Jahdae Barron came in and played amazing defense on the tight ends. Travis still had a pretty good game, but Jahdae Barron had a good game himself. You know, Riley Moss with the penalties. Man, they're ticky-tack. They're the ticky-tackiest of ticky-tacks. Like, what are we doing here? You're ticky-tack calling everything. This Denver defense, though, is one of the best, if not the best in the league. We don't have Pat Surtain or Alex Singleton in this game, and we still play some of the best defense in football. As long as it's that, we are going to be in every single game. And when Denver's offense is at its best, there is not many teams in the league I think can mess with the Broncos. I genuinely think they are one of the best teams in football, one of the top 3 teams in football, especially if we get this version of Bo Nix. If we get this version of Bo Nix, I don't think there's anyone stopping us. This team lives and dies by Bo. It lives and dies by Bo. If he's good, perfect. Denver's probably able to win a Super Bowl, and I'm being dead serious. If Bo Nix is below average, then this team has a ceiling. Lives and dies by Bo Nix. Now we're going to talk about Jared Goff. The Eagles win this game 16-9. Just get this team off of freaking prime time. Gosh, the Eagles are hard to watch. I said this in the beginning of the season, and I've continued to say it, that Jared Goff is just not the guy. This team is not going to win. They can be all the good that they want to be. They are not going to win with Jared Goff at quarterback, because he is not a player that is going to change the game or be able to win the game without a good run offense. In his entire career, he's either had Todd Gurley or he's had the best running back duo in the entire NFL with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Those are the seasons when he has prospered and played his best football. He is one of the best play-action quarterbacks in football, but that does not matter, because if a team stops the run, he is a nothing quarterback. There is no upside to Jared Goff when this run game is stopped, and I say it all the time. I've done this. I've said this so much already this season, but once again, we're back in the same spot that we're in. The run game was non-existent in this game. Just look at what happened. I'm sorry, the Lions are not contenders. I do not take the Lions seriously. That'll be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more This Week in the NFLs. And I will see you guys in the next video.